Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Advanced Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the KF5 Single Stack. This, even though it's an enlisted variant, is one of the best KF5 variants in the game, and it's one that I personally happen to like a lot. Even though I do use this weapon quite often, the gameplay you're seeing is not mine. The gameplay is from Dysfunction. He sent in his gameplay about 3 weeks ago, and about 4 or 5 days ago, I actually unlocked the Single Stack myself, so I've used it quite a bit, and if you've paid attention, you've probably seen it in quite a few other videos, but it felt a little bit dirty to kind of like take his shout out away from him. But Dysfunction's a friend of mine. He uploads a very gameplay centric channel where he just plays excellently all the time. He's doing Search and Destroy today. Good person. I'd highly recommend you go check out his channel and subscribe if you're interested. But let's talk about the Single Stack and why I like this enlisted variant so much. So first things first, it does deal less damage than the normal variant, which is very, very frustrating. The normal KF5 will deal 33 damage up close, 22 at medium range, and 18 at long, which is 4, 5, or 6 shots to kill. The Single Stack is even worse at 4, 5, or 7 shots to kill, 7 being miserable at long range. You'll probably not kill anything, and it'll feel like a pea shooter out there, and I very rarely recommend variants like this that deal less damage, but the KF5 does have one redeeming attribute, and that's that all the variants still have the very strong bonus damage on the first 5 shots. The first 5 shots will be 3 or 4 shots to kill, depending on how far away you are from the enemy, which makes it very, very strong, and before the ASM-1 buff, it was actually the most popular and most competitive SMG in the game. So even though we do have that damage decrease, the Single Stack is still very strong on the first 5 shots, same as all the other KF5 variants, and that's really what saves them. However, the cool thing about the Single Stack is its rate of fire increase. The normal KF5 will fire at 869 rounds per minute. That'll be a little bit lower due to frame rounding, but the Single Stack fires at over 1,000, at 1,016 rounds per minute. That is incredibly, incredibly fast. It is a dump truck. It just hoses bullets all over the place, and I can't emphasize this enough. No amount of explanation that I do, adjectives or descriptive language, will explain to you how fast this gun shoots unless I compare it to the ASM-1 Speakeasy, which is often considered one of the fastest firing weapons in the game. The Single Stack actually fires at the exact same rate of fire as the ASM-1 Speakeasy, and many of you have experienced the Speakeasy either on your own or on the receiving end, and many of you complain about it. The Single Stack deals more damage on the first 5 shots, so if you're accurate, it's very dangerous, and shoots just as fast with probably about the same recoil. Actually, statistically, I looked at it, they're nearly identical. I think the ASM-1 has better iron sights though, so it's a little bit easier to aim with, but that's really, really strong. That makes this a really beefy enlisted variant. One of the other cool things about it is that there are no other penalties. A lot of weapons like this have a slower aim down sights time, they have really wide or poor hip fire, or like you'll have an increased rate of fire and then you'll have way more increased recoil on top of that. You don't have any of that with the Single Stack. It's actually just the base variant, a little bit less damage, a lot more rate of fire, and that works out very, very well for the KF5. There's literally nothing else you need to worry about, and that makes this an excellent weapon. As for how I feel about the KF5 Single Stack, if you haven't heard enough praises, I think that this is one of the best KF5 variants. I think the best KF5 variants are probably the Breakneck, the Genuine, and then the Single Stack. Those are definitely the top 3, and I'm not even sure that the Professional and Elite variants are even better than this one. The Single Stack is excellent, just so long as you don't try to use it at super long ranges. Of course, because of the damage decrease, it's not going to work well out there, but this will work extremely well up close and personal. I like it a lot. I use it a lot. You'll probably see it in a couple of gameplays cycling through the summer now that I finally have it unlocked. And as for how I recommend using it, there are 2 attachments that I feel are essential. Number 1 is fast mags, so you can reload really quickly and get to that first 5 shots bonus damage over and over and over again. Advanced rifling is also essential because this has the longest 3 and 4 shot range of any of the submachine guns. Advanced rifling, that's the base KF5, which has the same stats here, and advanced rifling will move that out even further and make it more effective. Now, if you have room on your class, I would also recommend the foregrip. The recoil can be a little bit dumpy, a little bit frustrating to use at medium and long ranges, not that you're going to be doing a lot of long with this gun anyway, but the foregrip is tremendously helpful on the KF5 in general, so if you have the space for it in your class, it's good. If not, it'd be fine. I use it a lot without the foregrip, so it's not that big of a deal. And that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful, and I hope you check out the Single Stack. A lot of you probably have it sitting in your inventory and haven't given it nearly the amount of love that it deserves. Also, check out Dysfunction, who's linked down there in the description below. As always, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode was on the Warbird. The next episode, I'm not entirely sure about yet, but I'm working on it. I'm going to use my own gameplay. I feel like I'm getting a little bit lazy or, too guest reliant. So I'm going to go back to my stuff for a little bit. And as always, if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. Drifter out.